Morning, y'all. It is 20 to 10 in Toronto today, and it is almost May. I think it's April 28th. I signed a check this morning, and it was April 28th on my check. It's 6 degrees Celsius in Toronto, so I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but I can tell you that in Celsius, that is 6 degrees away from water turning into ice. So it's damn cold, and I have a cold, which is why I'm wearing these shades. I'm not trying to be shady. I'm not trying to be cool, but if I get cool points, then that's all right. I'll take all the coolness I can get. But yeah, my eyes are just like super sensitive to anything that isn't pitch black right now. So I'm wearing these. Want to talk about the scale? I think the scale is so stupid. So stupid. I was talking to my girlfriend last night and we talked about the same thing we always talk about, which is how we're progressing in our little fitness journey. That she's totally killing right now. So she looks amazing. We're constantly sending each other pictures back and forth, and I can tell you that from when she started on this specific goal that she's trying to achieve right now to now, she's done a great job at transforming quite a bit. She looks a heck of a lot leaner. She looks tighter. She looks like her athletic self. And I know because I've got the inside scoop on her programming right now that she is increasing her stamina, agility, strength, and like training like a true athlete. Like there's loads of functional training in there. She's killing her diet, menu, eating plan, whatever sits well with y'all. Yeah, she's doing a kick-ass job, and it's obvious. Like you just look at her and you're like, okay, so you're living a kick-ass sort of situation right now. But when she gets on the scale, not much is happening. It's not grooving. And as much as I preach not to get sucked into the BS that is the scale, I do the exact same thing. So she's kind of feeling, the stress of the scale right now. I think her coach is kind of coming down on her because he or she, whoever they are, they want to see it come on down. I, myself, often tell myself that I need to see the scale shift. Irrespective of how I look in the mirror, which is so crazy. So I know that as much as we preach, like, let go of the scale as that, relevant source of information when it comes to gauging your own progress, I know that it's hard to just implement that into your life and be like, okay, scale, off you go. I'm good now. I don't need you. Because like I said, as long as I've been doing this, I still get sucked into it. And my girlfriend, as long as she's been doing it, she still gets sucked into it. As some of you guys may know, my last prep took 16 weeks. I only lost 5 pounds on the scale, but I completely transformed my body from squishy postpartum to stage ready. So, had I actually looked to the scale as a gauge of my own progress, I would have quit. That's just it. I would have quit. But I didn't, because I know better. And what I did instead is I took 2 things. 1, girth measurements. Because no matter what the number is on the scale, if I'm looking, let's say for instance, to get smaller or leaner, and my waist measurement is coming in, then I know that I'm on the right track. P.S. if you're a woman, that waist measurement is at the narrowest part of your waist, which for us is usually like 1 to 2 inches above your navel. And if you're a boy, then it's right at your belly button. Okay. So that's number 1, girth measurements for sure. And then the other one is progress pictures, which I know a lot of us hate to take that starting photo, that before photo, but as we progress, when we get to that point where it's like, I don't think I've made any changes at all, there is nothing more valuable than looking back at that before picture and going, no way, look at how much I've done. It is not the same, by the way, as looking in the mirror. I mean, if you can look in the mirror and see how awesome you are, then that is amazing. But for a lot of us, we look in the mirror and we're just like, bleh. I don't want you guys to do that. I really want you to take those progress pictures, because I think that when it's something truly outside of yourself, you're almost looking at it as a third party and you can be less biased and more accurately critical. So, I don't know. I'm telling you guys all over again, not to buy into the BS that is the scale. It just can't measure progress accurately. It can't tell you how hard you've worked. It cannot tell you how diligent you've been with your eating plan. It cannot tell you how much stronger you are. It can't tell you how much happier about your life you are. It can't tell you, that you've got more energy now to run around with your kids. It can't tell you that you're sleeping better. It can't tell you that, you're pooping 3 times a day. I can't tell you any of those things. And I know people will actually tell you that those bioimpedance analysis scales, that they can accurately gauge your body fat percentage. No, they can't. No, they can't. Because I'll tell you right now that from day to day, like I have one at home, from day to day, it gives me a completely different reading, even though not much might have changed from one day to the next. I could stand on it and hit male and read with a 10% lower body fat percentage than if I click female, which is ridiculous because gender shouldn't matter. If it's getting an accurate reading of what kind of tissue I have in my body, you know, what my appendages are or lack of appendages are, should not matter to the scale. So I don't believe they're accurate. And you know what, time and time again, I have performed a DEXA scan, which is accurate, or a bod pod test, which is accurate, and then compared it to the reading on the bioimpedance analysis scale, and it's like way off and consistently off. So that's that. I just, you know what, I want you guys to get into the good habit and good practice of using something that is a reliable measure of progress to determine progress for you. So again, how you look and how you feel. You know, I get sort of having this sort of ideal number that we all want to hit on the scale, but you know, if let's say, you know, for sake of argument, it was 125 pounds for me, which seems so completely crazy right now because I've been stuck at 137 for like forever. No matter how I look, by the way, if I'm like postpartum squishy or stage ready, I'm 137 pounds, which is, by the way, a really far cry from the 114 pounds that I was at my first show, Fame, April 2010. Wow. It's 6 years later. That's a lot of muscle to have gained. Good thing I don't rely on the scale to tell me how far I've come, because I would have told myself that I'm a big fatty having gained 20 pounds in 6 years. But yeah, what I was gonna say before I got off track, reminiscing about the good old days, was that, you know, if I determined a number to be my ideal weight, irrespective of the steps that I needed to take to get there, or what I would end up looking like or feeling like, I could theoretically get to that number on the scale and completely hate my life. So, you know, I ask you this: when you set a goal for yourself, does it really matter what it translates to on the scale if it hits all the other check marks? So if you wanted to get stronger and you're feeling stronger, you know, if you wanted to get leaner and you got leaner, if you wanted to build lean mass and you built lean mass, if you just look better to yourself and you just generally feel better in clothing, out of clothing, does it actually matter what that number is on the scale? I think, you know, for the average woman, the average person who is just trying to upgrade their life via a physical transformation, the number really has absolutely no bearing on whether or not you've hit any of those check marks. And definitely for an athlete, I'll tell you this: when we get on stage, at no point are the judges asking us, at least in the bikini, you know, figure, physique divisions, are the judges asking us how much we weigh. They don't care. They don't care. It's an aesthetically driven sport. It's an aesthetically judged sport. And, you know, shoulder to shoulder, I could stand next to an athlete who has 10 pounds on me, you know, above or below me, and we could look as good as each other. So, you know what, figure out what you want your life to look like, figure out how much you're willing to train, what you want to do as a form of training, you know, what types of foods you want to eat. Work on that, you know, as often as you can without compromising the rest of your life. Use accurate measures to track your progress, like those, you know, progress pictures, like that favorite pair of jeans, like those girth measurements, you know, like maybe even a baseline workout where, you know, you gauge how many more reps you're able to get in than you were maybe last time you did that workout, or how much more weight you're lifting, how much more volume you're able to output, you know, than you did, like I said, you know, the month before when you did that workout. Those things matter. But looking at the scale and using it as, you know, the be all end all when it comes to gauging your progress is literally like going onto social media and thinking that you've actually read the news. You haven't. You only got that much of all this. So that's it. Toss the scale. It's silly. Love you guys. Bye.